Hi, everyone, and welcome to Women of a Particular Age podcast, where we discuss women's views, life lessons, and a little bit of sugar honey iced tea. Heather, my friend, you look so good. How are you doing?
Good friend. How are you doing?
Man, I'm doing well. It was a really busy work day, but it's fine. It's great. But let's get to what we want to talk about. So, folks, before we get started, please like, share, and
Yes.
subscribe. JollyStudios@gmail.com, www.jollystudios.com, and at Heather Mola so you can follow her weight journey. So, listen, give us a few minutes. Let's start the intro, and we'll be right back. Awesome. Thanks for waiting on us. So, listen, before we get started, Heather, what do we usually do? All right. We've got our mugs and we're going to drink. Let's drink. Let's drink to our pod.
Cheers. Yes.
Mm,
Cheers.
cheers. Oh, awesome,
Fresh.
awesome, awesome. Okay, so folks, let me tell you, me and Heather, we don't get to see each other that often. So when we do get to see each other, we love to have girl time. So this past weekend, what we decided to do is we decided to meet up at a little cafe that's in Burbank. That's very beautiful and wonderful, wonderful atmosphere, nice. Heather, tell them about our, tell them about the place that we went. Not so that, but
Oh,
tell them about the
sure.
place.
Yes. So this place has been here for a little while, not that long. It's called BB Cafe in Burbank, and it's off of Burbank Boulevard. And Tara and I have been seeing the feeds, social media feeds coming in, and the drinks and the food look so delicious. And we've been saying,
Right,
we gotta go. So
right,
finally, we got together and we went
right.
on Sunday, and it was absolutely fabulous.
And the weather was nice, right? Wasn't it good weather? We sat
Oh,
outside.
it was perfect. It wasn't too hot. It wasn't too cold. There
Right,
was a nice little breeze. And
right.
this place has a wonderful outdoor seating as well as indoor. And
Wonderful.
it was very nice ambiance. And there was a
Beautiful
gentleman there
acoustic
playing.
guitar,
Yes, and they have
right?
speakers on the outside because he plays on the inside, and but you can hear all the music on the outside, and it's just so
Right,
beautiful. It's so nice,
right.
very nice.
And folks, listen, we had a wonderful time. Me and Heather actually had the same breakfast, but the difference was I had pancakes and she had what did you have? You had what did you
Oh,
have?
the French toast. I had the
The French
French
toast.
toast.
Yeah, look at I was gonna say waffles because you know that's what I wanted, but they didn't
I
have.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's
So
very popular. It's very popular
right.
there, the waffle. So they
But it
had
was
run
great.
out. So, well, you'll have
Yeah,
to
it
try
was
it
really
next
good.
time. Next time we have to go earlier, a little
It
earlier.
was really good. So you guys, pretty soon,
Hmm.
what will happen in the next couple of weeks, me and Heather will probably hook up again, and she's going to come out to the valley, and then we'll be able to tell you one of the valley places that's been here. It's been here, I'll probably say over 30, 35 years.
Wow.
It's a
Yeah.
little dive spot, but it happens to be a very popular spot where a lot of people Uber food to their homes to this spot. And I mean, sometimes far places. So you know the food is good if you're willing to pay the Uber fees.
Yes,
Okay?
exactly. So
So
I'm looking forward to it, friend. I'm looking forward to us, getting together again and
yeah,
to some good food and checking out a new place. It's always fun.
right. This you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. And they have some wonderful sake. So I can't wait. I cannot wait.
Mhm.
All right. So
Yes.
folks, listen, this is what we're gonna get into. So we have me and Heather have been watching a wonderful series. Oh man, it has had us on the edge of our seat. But I had to be honest with you. For me, it's been very distasteful at times. Okay. And the name oh, the name of the series
Yes, you can
is,
tell by the name. You'll
yeah, HMO. It's on. Look, I can't even talk. It's on HBO Max, Hulu, The
Mhm,
Mortician. And let's get you guys a picture. Oh my God,
mhm.
folks, we are talking
Yes.
about a very, 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 very intriguing but disgusting series. This came out this year. This is something that happened back in the 80s. And let me pull up the description. HBO's The Mortician, a documentary series premiering June 1st, examines the startling true story of a cremator who went to prison for mishandling human remains. In the 1980s, David Scorch, it's really Scorch, ran a crematory business that deliberately mixed up human remains and robbed families of their loved ones' valuables. Sconch,
Mm.
who was in and out of prison after pleading guilty to his crimes in 1989, even speaks in a three-part series. Now, folks, this is what we're going to do. We're going to talk about this, but we're going to talk about it in parts, okay? We're going to talk about it in parts. And let me get the banner up here so we can show you, give you all the names of the players, all the people who are involved in this, okay? Which is going to be the grandfather, Lawrence Lamb's daughter, which is Lorianne Lamb Squanch, Lorianne's husband, who she married to, which how she changed her name, which is Jerry Sconch, and then the diabolical son, which is David Sconch, and
Oh,
David
yeah.
Sconch's wife, Barbara Hunt. All right,
Mhm.
so folks, let's get into it. So we're going to talk about. Give me a moment. Let's talk about episode 1. So let's, folks, let me I already gave you a little bit of background, but me and Heather really want to talk about the parts. And once again, I gave you the background. The background is this is a family who was in Pasadena. They were very prominent, and they
Mhm.
owned a mortuary, and on their land they had a crematory. And when her son became of age, they allowed him to become the boss of the crematory. And that's when everything went awry, which all of their secrets came out. Okay. You'll have to go on and we're going to tell you what the secrets are, but if you want the intricacies of it, you're going to have to go see the series. Okay. So, Heather, let's talk
Mhm.
about it. Let's talk about it. So, listen,
Yes.
I know that in the beginning, we only thought in the beginning that this just had to do with the son and him being diabolical. Correct. We didn't
Yes.
know at first that the rest of the family was involved, right?
Oh, yeah. I totally did not, did not suspect that from the beginning, only because they, this is a respected family in the community for many, many years. The father and the mother, they were very respected in the community, and they were known for their services and for,
Right,
just
right.
wonderful people. And then, of course, we get into David Sconce, the son, who
Yeah,
decides, okay, hey, we got this good, let's do a crematorium because there's some
yeah,
money to be made here, and we
yeah.
can, yeah, we can. And so, yeah, so at the beginning, you're kind of like, oh, it's just the son, the bad seed. But come to
Well,
find,
well, first let's do this. In the beginning,
yes,
we thought that it was just a regular mortuary, and they were giving people
yes,
deals on the crematory. Okay, but folks, we came to find out that what was happening was, and we're just going to talk about David right now. What was happening was
yes,
David hired more men, and in order to become rich off of people's misfortunes, he was lowering the crematory rate in order to bring in more bodies. And
and,
to bring in more
and
bodies and to
it's
get the services done quickly, he was doubling up on the cremation, which is illegal.
very
Okay.
illegal. And just so everybody knows, back in the day when this is happening, crematoriums were charging about $350 to $450 for
Right. Right.
cremation. David took it to the whole nother level. He was charging like $50.
And that's
So
the
you
reason
have
why,
to,
folks, everybody wanted to come get it done because it was
well,
so cheap.
everybody, right. And so, and like I said, everybody knew about the Lamb family. They were
Right,
reputable. They're thinking like, wow, well, maybe, they're making a large business out of this so they can charge a lot less, right? Because
right,
whatever, maybe the operation's going to be a lot bigger than the other crematorium, so they can charge a
right,
better rate. That's what I'm
right,
thinking. Okay,
right.
uh, no, but it was,
Yeah,
yeah,
and we know it didn't happen like that. So, folks, just so
no,
you know, what David Sconch was doing is he was bringing in all these bodies, raking them all in, making all this money off of people's misfortunes. Now, in the
yes,
first episode, it talked about how Mr. Sconch was actually taking the teeth out of the human remains and using them to sell it for money. Now, folks, I want
yes,
you to know that for these teeth, he just for the teeth alone, he was making $30,000 to $40,000 a month off of the fillings of deceased people. Heather,
yeah.
how disgusting is that?
And okay, so now we're talking about the teeth, right, with the gold fillings,
Yeah,
and then
we're just
to
talking about the
boot.
teeth. We haven't gotten to the episode two yet. We're going
Yeah,
to talk
yeah.
about
I
episode
mean,
two. Okay,
yeah.
okay,
I mean, that's so. I mean, and also people are getting buried because some people, I guess, want their loved ones to be buried with, or the loved ones had asked to be buried with jewelry, and
oh,
that
and
was
that was
also,
crazy.
yeah, and that was taken. I mean, you can imagine if they're taking the teeth, that requires a
Right,
lot of work to take it out. A ring
right,
or a bracelet or earrings or a neck, whatever it might be, that's easy. So if they were
right.
pulling out teeth, immediately the first thing they probably pulled was a jewelry that was being worn. But
Yes.
um,
Oh, and
yeah,
by the way, the jewelry, depending on where the jewelry was, folks, because what they were doing is, if they were rings, they were breaking the deceased people's fingers.
yes,
Ugh. Oh my
it
God.
was
Oh my God.
terrible. Okay,
It's
now
disgusting.
I think we should let them know that a normal crematorium, okay, if you
Hmm.
had two incinerators, right?
Uh-huh.
You so 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, so each incinerator you could do four people, four
Right. You
people
could
in
do
one,
four
four people.
people.
So we're talking about 8 people a day, okay? Because it takes
Right.
about two and a half, 2 hours for each person. So with two
Right.
incinerators, now mind you, that's not what was happening.
Oh, girl,
Mm.
no, listen, they were doubling those bodies up like they were in England, those double Dutch buses. Folks, you got to see
Yes.
this. It's
Oh,
very, very disheartening. And I want you to understand this happened in California, in Pasadena, and there were a lot of families that were affected by this. But listen,
a
for
lot.
time's sake, let's get to episode two because there's a lot of stuff to
Yes.
talk about episode two. Now,
Yes.
folks, in episode two, we find out not only were they taking the teeth, but they were harvesting body parts. Heather, give
Yes.
them a little bit more information about what we're talking about as far as harvesting body parts.
Yes. Harvesting body parts. Okay. So we're talking about cornea, right?
Yep.
Then the eyes, the cornea. We're talking about internal organs like the heart,
Mm.
maybe the liver, a couple of
And
things.
folks,
Now,
listen, there were lots of money. $500 for the brain and the heart. The lungs were 100. They were
yes,
getting for one body. They were breaking the body down like car parts in order to make money
yes.
off of people. I'm sorry, Heather. I just had to get that in. Go ahead, dear. I'm
No,
sorry.
no. Now the only thing is, like with that, I mean, they don't really go into too much about the harvesting as far as with how they did or didn't do it, because a lot of that stuff when they take these organs, they have to certain. Okay, let's say for the lungs, right? They have to take them and put a special solution,
That's right.
right, to
In
keep
order to
it,
keep them
preserve
fresh.
it. But
That's right.
right, but they didn't discuss like this whole what's the normal process. All I can tell you is this: that these bodies were coming in at a rapid rate that even the men that were hired to do the job, they were completely
Oh,
overwhelmed with dead
yes.
bodies everywhere around them. There was so many that they were just laying around them by the
Right,
incinerators. They couldn't even be put
right,
in a refrigerator or freezer. Okay, so I
right.
mean the work conditions were really bad. David Scott's hired these people and paid them extra money and only had limited
Mhm.
staff because he wanted to keep this what hush hush.
Very
And I
hush
just
hush. And look at what kind of men that they hired. Didn't hire reputable men. Hired men who
no,
had records, men who had
right.
problems. He actually took
Yes,
advantage of them. And folks,
he
listen.
did.
I think the moral of the story at the end of this is we want you guys to understand that people got ashes that were mixed up. It wasn't they
Yes,
really desecrated people's families. They got mixed up ashes. They don't even know if it's their family. This is what they were doing. And
they
the person
don't.
who was
They
doing
don't.
it, he was very nonchalant about it. You got to see this. You
Yes,
guys got to go see this.
yes,
And there's only 2 episodes right now. Next week,
right.
there's going to be a third episode. Please, Heather,
Yes.
what are your last words before we wrap this up?
It it was just unbelievable that something like this would happen, but I think it went on so long because this family was well known. People did not suspect this, but they did start suspecting things later, which you'll have to see the
Right.
show. So you'll see because when someone is doing something that's so highly illegal and so irresponsible and unethical, it's not going to go unnoticed forever. And
Right.
it
Right.
didn't. It
Right.
didn't. So
Right.
yeah. So
Right.
it's a
Right.
must see. It's a must see because
Ooh, this is a must see.
Tara, when you told me to watch the Mortician, you kept saying you got it because I it took me just a little bit to see it, and she was like, "You gotta
Yeah.
see this," and I was like, "Okay, okay, okay, I'm gonna see." And then I started watching it with my husband, and we were both like, "Oh wow, this is
Terrible.
horrible, terrible.
Terrible.
That's terrible."
Just bad business. Bad business.
Yeah,
Bad business, folks. Bad business. It makes you
yes,
think twice. I mean, I'm not saying it was bad business.
right.
And keep this in mind. This mortuary crematory was 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 in competition with big places like Forest Lawn. So
Yes,
they were
right,
really cranking out the bodies. But the thing is, it was just disgusting. It's very rude, and it was horrible. And to be honest with you, if I were you, I would see it because I want you to see how nonchalant and just how oblivious this man is to how much he disrespected people's families. So we really want you
right.
guys to see it. Okay. So
Mhm.
listen, we're gonna
Right.
get off of here, but listen, please, please, please. We appreciate you guys for coming on this journey with us. But listen, before we leave, please like, share, and subscribe. JollyStudios@gmail.com, www.jollystudios.com, and at Heather Mola. So you can go ahead and follow her on her weight loss journey and her new business endeavors to come. All right. So, folks,
Yes.
we love you. Thank you so much. And we'll talk with you soon. Have a good
Love you
evening.
guys.
Bye bye.
Bye. Till next time.